Dominus Rael walks into his office. The room isn't quiet. It's stale, like something brave was said here, and the air never recovered. It had been 7 days since he gave the Inquisitor his interview on fear. Fear of failure. Fear of being seen too early. Fear of speaking before he became the kind of man who sounded like he knew what he was doing. He had been recommended after watching a few of the Inquisitor's interviews. He knew almost immediately he wanted him for the first one, the debut interview. Debut for what exactly? That part still felt blurry. A channel? A movement? A life? A version of himself he kept talking about like it already existed? He wasn't sure. Come to think of it, he'd been so nervous during the interview, he wasn't even sure he let the Inquisitor get more than a few words in. After it aired, a copy of the tape had arrived in the mail. He uploaded it to his personal YouTube channel, mostly just to gauge the reception, mostly just to see whether the thing he felt in the room was real anywhere else. Dominus stands at the desk. The red metallic mask rests in front of him, the one he wears over the plastic mask. Confidence layered on insecurity, armor layered on honesty, no glow, no mythology, no chosen one narrative, just metal, fabric, and the faint smell of breath trapped inside it. He opens his laptop, pulls up the channel, clicks the interview, the one that felt like jumping off a cliff and somehow landing on his feet. He presses play. His own voice fills the room, calm, measured. Fear doesn't disappear when you wait. It just grows teeth. Dominus flinches, like someone pressed a bruise. He pauses the video immediately. Silence returns. He mutters under his breath, "That wasn't fake." The room offers no response, which somehow feels like disagreement. He turns toward the mirror. The red mask stares back. Behind it, tired eyes, a man who slept, but didn't rest. He studies himself like a witness. You did it once, so you can do it again. His hand reaches for the metallic mask. Stops. Not because he's afraid to wear it, because he understands it now. It's not armor, it's expectation. His fingers touch the metal. Someone clears their throat. He turns. His eyes search for the source of the sound. A figure leans against the wall, arms crossed, relaxed posture, perfect composure. He speaks first. He always does. "Good," the man says. "We're moving up in the world." Dominus exhales slowly. "Who are you?" The man smiles behind the purple mask. "Oh, don't do that. You know exactly who I am." Dominus studies him. Same silhouette, same mask, different presence. The man spreads his hands slightly. "I'm Dominus Rael." Dominus shakes his head immediately. "No." The man tilts his head. "No? No." Dominus gestures between them. "That's too confusing. We are not both doing that." The man straightens slightly. "I was here first." Dominus stares at him. "That is absolutely not true." The man ignores him. "I'm the part of you that knows how to walk into a room and make people listen. The part that knows how to project strength before you feel it." Dominus's expression hardens. "Pride." Pride looks offended. "That's reductive." Dominus doesn't blink. "It's accurate." Pride exhales through his nose. "Fine. If I'm pride, then what are you supposed to be?" Pride studies him for a moment. Then, a slow, sarcastic smile. "Oh, I don't know." He gestures loosely. "If you think you're such a big shot, why not just call yourself the executive?" Chief nods slightly. "I like the way you think." Then he exhales. "But that's already taken." Pride raises an eyebrow. "Is it?" Chief doesn't answer. Doesn't even look at him. His eyes drift to the mask instead. The moment stretches, just long enough to feel intentional. Then, he moves on. "Chief?" Pride frowns. "Chief?" Chief shrugs slightly. "It just came to me. I'm not sure from where. Maybe it'll matter later." Pride studies him, then smiles again. Wow. So mysterious. He pushes off the wall. Fine, Chief. Now that we've settled branding, his eyes flick to the laptop screen. We have a problem. Pride studies the paused frame. Chief on screen looks composed, poised, certain, like a man already living inside the philosophy he's preaching. Chief, standing here in the room, does not. Pride gestures toward the frozen image. You set a standard. Chief says nothing. Pride continues. That fear of failure speech? Impressive. Chief glances away. Pride smirks. You almost sounded like someone who lives that philosophy. Chief stiffens. I meant it. I just haven't fully grown into it yet. Pride nods politely, like a mentor humoring a gifted child. But you intend to become that man. Chief looks at him. Yes. Pride smiles. You know what they say about men with good intentions. Chief says nothing. Pride steps closer. Their masks almost mirror each other. If you keep working with me, I can make sure you look like that man. Chief frowns. I don't want to look like him. I want to become him. Pride laughs quietly. That's adorable. Chief's jaw tightens. Pride continues. They say fake it until you make it. Why not try that? Chief grips the desk. I'm allowed to be nervous. Pride nods once. Be nervous privately. Be competent publicly. Chief looks back toward the paused interview. The confident version. The broadcast version. The version people could respect without having to know the machinery under the hood. Pride watches him, then tilts his head. Curious. Amused. You know what's funny? Most people don't talk to themselves this much. He gestures around the office. But you're going to need the help. Chief frowns. What does that mean? Pride smiles. You'll see. Then Pride's tone sharpens. You didn't stop uploading because you were tired. Chief's posture changes. Almost imperceptibly. Pride notices. You stopped because you lost control of the narrative. Chief says nothing, which is answer enough. Pride circles the desk slowly. You expected momentum. You expected attention. You expected validation. And when it didn't happen, you froze. Chief looks down. Pride continues, calm and surgical. You thought the video might go viral. Chief mutters quietly. I didn't say that. Pride smiles. You didn't have to. You uploaded the video to your personal YouTube. He raises an eyebrow. Dominus Rael. How original. Chief exhales. Pride continues. If you stick with me, you will succeed. You're just early. Chief swallows. Pride leans in. But you must not look early. Because if they see you early, his voice lowers, they'll treat you like you're early. Chief stares at the desk. Pride finishes the thought. Don't be early, Chief. Look established. Stay consistent. The audience will follow. Chief whispers, What's the rush? Pride smiles. Exactly. Chief sits down, determined to start work on interview 2. Hopefully his second upload. Hours later, the office isn't quiet. It's tense, like a room where someone almost said something important, and then swallowed it. Chief sits at his desk. The red metallic mask rests in front of him, armor layered over plastic, confidence layered over doubt. He stares at a blank script document. Episode 2. Cursor blinking, waiting, mocking. Behind him, a slow clap. Chief doesn't turn around. He sighs. Let me guess. Another clap. Slow. Patient. You're early tonight. A voice answers from the darkness. Smooth, unhurried, almost friendly. You say that like I ever leave. Chief finally turns. A figure stands near the back wall. Same hoodie. Same mask. But yellow. Fear Dominus. He walks forward casually, hands in his pockets, looking around the room like a home inspector examining structural damage. Nice setup you've got here, Chief. He gestures toward the desk. The microphone, the camera, the scripts, all the pieces of a life that hasn't happened yet. Chief rubs his forehead. Can we skip the speech tonight? Fear tilts his head. Speech? He laughs softly. Oh, Chief, I'm not here to give speeches. I'm here to ask questions. He sits casually on the edge of the desk, leaning forward, elbows on his knees. Let's start simple. He points at the blinking cursor. Why haven't you written episode 2 yet? Chief exhales. You know why. Fear nods. Yes, I do. But say it. Chief stares at the screen. What if it's not good enough? Fear smiles. Good. That's one. He raises a finger. What else? Chief shifts uncomfortably. What if later I come up with something better and it contradicts the canon? Fear raises a second finger. And? Chief pauses. What if I put it out there and nobody cares? Fear raises a third finger. Now we're getting somewhere. He leans closer. See, Chief? The funny thing about you is that you think you're afraid of failure. He shakes his head. You're not. You're afraid of embarrassment. Chief's jaw tightens. Fear continues. You're afraid you'll try. You'll release it. And somewhere out there, someone will watch it. And think. Fear mimics typing on a phone. Wow, this guy really thought he was onto something. Chief looks away. Fear stands and begins pacing slowly around the room. You've spent years building Dominus Rael in your head. He gestures upward. In here, it's perfect. In here, it's a movement, a philosophy, a universe. He taps the desk. But out here, it's just one video. Chief mutters, Thanks. Fear shrugs. Relax. That's not an insult. That's reality. He leans closer. And reality is the part you're avoiding. Fear picks up the red mask and studies it. You know what the real problem is? Chief doesn't answer. You're treating episode 2 like it's permanent. He sets the mask down again. Like once it exists. It can never change. He chuckles softly. You know how many creators rewrite their own worlds as they go? Almost all of them. He leans closer to Chief. But you? You're trying to solve a 10-year lore problem before episode 2 exists. Chief stares at the screen again. Fear continues. Meanwhile, you're working 90 hours a week, staying up all night brainstorming your content, sleeping in your car on your lunch breaks, but no amount of sleep deprivation is going to make the idea arrive perfect. Fear shrugs lightly. Besides, you've already changed half the rules. Chief frowns. What? Fear gestures around the room. The masks. The voices. The whole idea of Dominus itself. 7 days ago, it was just an interview and a metal mask. He tilts his head. Now it's whatever this is. Chief's expression tightens. That doesn't mean the first interview was wrong. Fear smiles patiently. That's not what I said. It means you're alive. You're learning. You're changing. He taps the desk. That's how real things grow. Chief looks wounded, like someone just insulted the foundation of the house he's building. So my debut appearance doesn't matter? Fear shakes his head slowly. No, Chief. It matters because it's the first step. But first steps are rarely straight. Chief says nothing. Fear continues. You're worried about bills. You're hoping this channel might finally become another income stream. He spreads his hands. So now your brain has decided something interesting. Chief mutters quietly. What? Fear smiles. That this has to work. And when something has to work, your brain becomes very careful, very cautious, he gestures to the blank script, slow. Silence fills the room. Fear steps behind Chief and points at the blinking cursor. Here's the truth. You don't need perfection. You need momentum. He taps the desk. Episode 1. Episode 2. Episode 3. That's it. Right now, Dominus Rael doesn't exist in the world. It exists in your imagination. And imagination is where ideas go to feel perfect forever. He leans down close to Chief's ear. But reality is where they grow. Chief looks down at the keyboard. Fear straightens. So here's the deal. He walks toward the door. Write the episode. Release it. And if you come up with a better idea later, he shrugs. Congratulations. That's called Season 2. He pauses in the doorway. One more thing. Chief looks up. Fear smiles behind the dark mask. You think I'm here to stop you? He shakes his head. I'm not. I'm just here to see if you're brave enough to move anyway. He gestures toward the keyboard. So go ahead, Chief. The cursor keeps blinking, waiting. Fear's voice fades into the hallway. Let's see what happens when you finally hit publish. Pride reappears. I'm impressed. I felt a little fear thinking fear would get you off track. But he did good. I agree with everything he said. No more getting derailed. It's time to stop procrastinating and get this done. And then, Chief's phone rings. The sound cuts through the room like a blade. The office returns. Pride leans back against the wall again, watching. Chief checks the caller ID. His eyes widen immediately. He recognizes the name. He stands too quickly, walks toward the door as he answers. Chief speaks carefully as he walks into the hallway. Hello? The voice on the other end explodes immediately. Dominus! Chief winces. Where have you been? The voice barrels forward. I checked your YouTube channel. Your interview has 1 view. Congratulations. Chief closes his eyes. You failed. Silence. The man exhales through the line. When I left Hollywood, I wanted to prove I could build something that lasts. And when I first met you, I saw something in your eyes. Chief opens his eyes slowly. Something special. That's why I bought you that building. Well, that and my 5% stake. Chief exhales quietly. I'm itching to make money. So you need to come up with something that brings in an audience. And makes me money, his voice hardens, or we rethink this arrangement. Chief whispers, Yes, sir. The man continues, calmer now. I like you, kid, but I caught that interview you did. Chief stiffens. It was nervous, uncertain. That was not the man I invested in. Chief's jaw tightens. People would kill for the opportunity I gave you. Silence. For a moment, Chief imagines answering. Quiet. Measured. No offense, sir, but I'm still working 2 other jobs. And the building you bought? He glances around the brick hallway. Doesn't even have running water. I'm surviving in ways I'm not proud of. It's degrading. His voice softens. I'm grateful. Really. But it's hard. I'm still trying to figure out who I am. The moment lingers. Then, Dominus. Chief snaps back to reality. I said people would kill for this opportunity. And you went silent. Chief lowers his head. The man finishes coldly. Come up with something new. And do it fast. Or we rethink this arrangement. Chief exhales. Yes, sir. The man sighs. I'm not trying to be cruel, but I like money. So stop depriving me of it. Click. The call ends. Chief stands defeated in the hallway staring at his phone. The name on the screen reads, Rael Diel. He lowers the phone slowly. Behind him, a voice. Chief! Pride. Still there. Chief closes his eyes. His hand tightens around the phone. Not now, Pride. He reaches the door, opens it, steps inside. Pride follows just far enough to be heard. If you stick with me, I can help you. Chief shuts the door, locks it. The lock clicks. The room hasn't changed, but tonight it feels different, closer, like the walls stepped forward while he wasn't looking. The ceiling hangs a little lower. The air sits heavier, not enough to trap him, just enough to remind him pressure has a shape. And right now, it looks like this room, the kind of room people build when they want a place to disappear. For a moment, Chief just stands there, holding the phone, staring at the name still glowing on the screen. Dominus, the man who bought the building, the man who owns 5% of whatever Dominus becomes, the man who expects returns. Chief turns the phone face down. Like eye contact hurts. He walks across the room. A red beanbag sits in the corner, the only comfortable thing in the entire space. Chief hovers over it, still hearing the words, "You failed." He opens the YouTube app again. The interview appears. The one that started everything. The one that was supposed to mean something. The one that somehow already feels like proof against him. The view counter reads, 1 view. Chief refreshes. Still 1. He squints. Was that me? He honestly isn't sure. He exhales, then drops into the beanbag hard. The room swallows the sound. Quiet returns, heavy. He scrolls, not looking for anything, just movement, noise, something that isn't pressure. A thumbnail catches his eye. He reads the title under his breath. Oshinoko didn't need a murder mystery. He tilts his head. That actually sounds interesting. A voice answers. Yes, the algorithm knows what you need better than you know yourself. Chief freezes, then slowly turns his head. Another Dominus stands beside the beanbag, relaxed posture, arms loosely folded, watching the phone screen with genuine interest. Chief squints at him. Which Dominus are you? The man smiles casually. I'm Dopamine Dominus. Chief stares. Dopamine gestures toward the screen. Go ahead. Scroll for a while. Dopamine watches Chief staring at the phone. The buffering circle spins. Round, round, round. Chief's thumb hovers over the screen. Not tapping, not leaving, just suspended. Dopamine tilts his head thoughtfully. You know something, Chief? Chief doesn't look up. What? Dopamine gestures lazily around the room. You've poured years of your life into this. Not days, not months. Years. Chief says nothing. Dopamine continues calmly. Tens of thousands of hours thinking about Dominus Rael. Designing the mask. Imagining the philosophy. Writing ideas in notebooks. Practicing speeches in the mirror. Rehearsing interviews that haven't even happened yet. He taps the side of the beanbag. You built an entire identity in your head, and now you're trying to force it into existence overnight. Chief's jaw tightens slightly. Dopamine shrugs. That's not how creativity works. Even machines overheat. He gestures toward the phone. You need to vent. Chief finally looks at him. Vent? Dopamine nods. Let the pressure out. Another small shrug. Watch some YouTube. Relax for a bit. He smiles slightly. And who knows? Maybe something you watch will spark a new idea. Chief glances down at the screen again. Dopamine continues gently. Creators do it all the time. They consume. They recharge. They come back sharper. From behind the glass door, Pride's voice cuts through the room. No. Dopamine glances toward the door like someone mildly annoyed by a barking dog. Yes. Pride presses his hand harder against the glass. He is not recharging. He is avoiding. Dopamine chuckles. Oh, relax. He gestures toward Chief. Look at him. Man's been running on fumes for weeks. Pride's voice hardens. Momentum does not come from scrolling. Dopamine smiles patiently. Burnout doesn't produce masterpieces either. Chief watches the argument silently. Dopamine leans closer. Lower voice, more conspiratorial. Chief! You're allowed to breathe. He gestures toward the phone again. Watch a video. Let your brain wander. Maybe you'll come back feeling a little bit more like yourself. Maybe you'll remember why you even liked doing this in the first place. Pride scoffs from behind the glass. You are negotiating with the algorithm. Dopamine smirks. I'm negotiating with a tired man. Chief looks at the screen again. The buffering circle spins. Round, round, round. Dopamine nods toward it. See? It's practically begging you. Chief exhales slowly. Well, it would be rude to refuse. Dopamine smiles warmly. That's the spirit. Chief hesitates. Dopamine's voice stays gentle. You've had a rough day. Pressure. Investors. Expectations. A small shrug. You deserve a break. Chief looks down at the phone again, then back at him. Just for a little while. Dopamine smiles wider. Exactly. You'll definitely feel better after that. Chief nods slowly. Yeah. That does sound nice. Dopamine lowers himself onto the floor beside the beanbag, like he plans to stay a while. Chief taps the video. The interface fills the screen. Light from the phone reflects across his mask. Dopamine leans closer, watching with him. The room grows quiet again. Not hopeful, just numb. And somewhere, too far back to name yet, other parts of the room remain occupied. A presence at the door that notices risk. A presence in the dark that keeps score. A presence deeper still that already knows what this pattern costs. But Chief doesn't hear them. Not yet. Right now there is only the glow of the screen, the comfort of movement, the relief of postponement, the tiny chemical mercy of not having to be himself for the next few minutes. Dopamine doesn't smile like a villain. He smiles like a friend who arrived at exactly the wrong time. The video plays. Another autoplay cue appears. Then another. The algorithm begins its work. Chief watches the buffering circle spin. Round, round, round. Something about it irritates him. His video pops up in his recommended feed and he stares at the thumbnail and the still remaining one view. The man on the screen who said, "Fear doesn't disappear when you wait." Chief exhales slowly. Yeah, I know. Dopamine tilts his head. Chief gestures toward the phone. But it does get quieter. For as long as I need it to. Dopamine smiles gently. Exactly. Chief watches the spinning circle again. If I keep postponing the man I want to become, eventually that man stops existing. He stops. The thought hangs in the room. Chief stares at the screen. The thought lingers. He could close the app. He could stand up. He could start tonight. Instead, he taps the next video. Pride watches through the glass of the door. His expression tightens. You said fear grows teeth when you wait. You should listen to yourself. Dopamine settles comfortably beside Chief and drapes an arm across his shoulder. You know what successful people do when they feel like this? Dopamine asks softly. They take a break. Pride scoffs from the other side of the glass. No. They push forward. They perform strength until it becomes real. Chief exhales slowly. I'll deal with that tomorrow. Dopamine nods warmly. Exactly. Chief keeps staring at the screen. Dopamine's voice stays gentle. Tomorrow always feels easier from here. Pride presses his hand against the glass. His voice hardens. Tomorrow is a very generous lie, Chief. Chief's eyes flick briefly toward the door. Just for a moment. Then he looks back to the phone. If tomorrow is hard, Chief murmurs, there's always another tomorrow. Dopamine smiles. That's the spirit. Pride's voice cuts through the room one last time. You're not resting. You're disappearing. Chief doesn't answer. He raises the volume instead. The phone fills the room with light. Dopamine leans back beside him, satisfied. Pride remains behind the glass, watching, waiting. Chief doesn't look up. The algorithm keeps feeding the night. And the man who said fear grows teeth when you wait presses play again.